The night sky over Earth was clear. Stars blinked gently above the planet. Cities below slept in peace, unaware of the shadow falling from orbit. It started with silence. No alarms, no warnings. Just one moment nothing. And the next an object, larger than anything humans had ever seen, appeared above Earth. It didn't come with weapons or flashing lights. It didn't broadcast demands. It simply appeared, huge, silver, and still floating silently in low orbit like a giant watching the world. The world panicked. Governments scrambled to respond. Military radars locked onto it. Fighter jets launched. Satellites were redirected. And yet, the ship didn't move. In a secure underground base, the leaders of Earth's top nations sat around a glowing table. On the screen above them, a live feed showed the alien ship in the sky. What do they want? One general whispered. No one answered. Then the message came. It wasn't spoken in any known language. It was translated directly into every device, connected to the network. Laptops, phones, tablets, televisions, even old radios, crackled with the same words. Do not be afraid. We come to protect Earth. Protect? The word echoed through every control room, every news station, every confused and terrified crowd watching the sky. Protect us from what? The president of the Earth Alliance asked. There was no reply. Lena stood at the edge of the base, staring at the screen. She was one of Earth's few interstellar contact officers, trained for events like this. But nothing had prepared her for a silent giant floating above the planet. She was calm, even as the world shook. Tall, with sharp eyes and dark hair tied back. Lena had spent years learning alien languages, cultures, and war tactics. She had faced disasters and chaos before. But this was different. A call came through. Lena, report to the main chamber. You've been chosen. Chosen? When she arrived, the room fell quiet. The Earth Council leader looked at her and nodded. You're going up. To the ship? She asked. Yes, you'll meet them. You'll speak for Earth. Lena didn't flinch. Then let's go. The shuttle took her up fast straight toward the massive alien ship. As she got closer, she saw details she hadn't noticed on the feed. The ship wasn't just metal. It pulsed like a heart. Lines ran across it like veins. It wasn't a machine. It was something alive. As her small shuttle neared the entrance port, a smooth silver tunnel opened without sound. No weapons. Number. Guards. Just airlock lights blinking green. Welcome, human, a voice said. As she stepped inside. It wasn't loud. It was soft. Kind, almost. But something in its tone made her uneasy, like a parent talking to a child. She followed the voice into a large circular chamber. Lights glowed from the walls. A figure stepped forward. It was tall, almost 9 feet. Skin like soft stone, glowing lines running through its arms and chest. Its face was humanoid, but strange wide black eyes. No mouth, no nose. I am Velen. It said, Leader of the Zyari Watch. Lena kept her expression steady. Why are you here? Velen tilted its head. To protect your world. A danger is coming. One your kind cannot face alone. Lena narrowed her eyes. And what danger is that? The alien paused. They come from the outer dark. A race with no name, no purpose but hunger. We've fought them before. Entire systems were lost. We could not let Earth fall. Lena stared at him for a long moment. So, you came to help? Velen nodded. Yes, you are. Not ready. But you are important. Lena's voice was cold. We didn't ask for help. No, Velen said. But soon you will. Back on Earth, confusion turned into curiosity. News anchors debated what the aliens meant. Scientists argued over the danger mentioned. Military leaders prepared defenses just in case. But the public was torn. Some were afraid. Others were angry. And some laughed. Aliens want to protect us? From what? A bad weather forecast? We've survived nukes, plagues, and our own stupidity. We'll survive this too. But Lena didn't laugh. She looked into Velen's deep, unreadable eyes and felt something deeper, not threat, not kindness, not pity, and that was worse, as she prepared to return to Earth. Velen's voice echoed again. Be careful, Lena of Earth. Your kind walks near the fire and does not see the flame. She looked back at him. We don't need protection, she said. Velen gave no reply, but as the shuttle left the alien ship, Lena looked down at Earth and felt it in her bones. This was just the beginning. The alien ship remained in orbit, silent and unmoving like a dark moon hanging above Earth. For 3 days, no new messages came. The Xiari offered no further explanation. Just one message kept repeating on the networks. We are here to protect. But protect from what? Lena sat in a private chamber deep inside the Earth Defense HQ, reviewing reports. Dozens of satellites had been redirected toward deep space. Telescopes scanned the outer system, but there were no signs of invasion. No hostile ships. No unusual radiation. Nothing. Her fingers tapped the table. Something's not right, she whispered. The room door opened. A technician entered, pale and breathless. Ma'am, he said. We found something. In the control room, everyone stared at the large screen. It showed a deep space research station Delta 9 orbiting the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Or rather, what was left of it. The structure had been torn open. Twisted metal floated around like shattered bones. No distress signal had been sent. It was just ... gone. Any survivors? Lena asked. The technician shook his head. The station's black box was recovered by a drone. It shows power loss and external. Pressure something grabbed it, crushed it from the outside. Everyone in the room went quiet. Lena stood still, her face expressionless. But her mind was racing. Then the second message came from the Xiari ship. This time, only one word appeared on every human device. Near. Lena was summoned again. The shuttle took her back to the Xiari ship, and the same silent tunnel welcomed her. This time, there were more Xiari inside, tall, armored, watchful. Not friendly. Velen waited for her in the same glowing chamber. You saw the sign, he said. Yes, Lena replied. Was that the threat? No, Velen said slowly. That was only ... shadow. He walked over to a panel and placed his hand on it. A projection lit up. It showed hundreds of dots across a star map blinking, then vanishing. These are the worlds we tried to protect. Each fell within hours. The enemy does not speak. It does not negotiate. It only consumes. Lena studied the projection. And Earth is next? Velen hesitated. Yes, but it's not the only reason we're here. She raised an eyebrow. What's the other reason? Velen looked at her with those empty, deep eyes. Because Earth is dangerous too. Back on Earth, things were changing fast. The alien ship had launched dozens of strange devices into orbit, metallic towers that rotated slowly and sent pulses into space. Human scientists couldn't figure them out. But one thing was clear. They were building a shield around the planet. People began protesting. News channels lit up with debates. Are we under attack or under control? Who gave them permission to build a cage around Earth? One man even flew a private ship close to one of the towers and vanished in a flash of white light. Lena returned and briefed the Earth Council. They're scared of something out there, she said. But they're scared of something down here too. Us. General Marlowe slammed his fist on the table. We should destroy their ship before they trap us all. But Lena shook her head. No, not yet. I don't think they want war. I think they want to survive. And we're part of their plan. A younger councilwoman asked softly, You think they'll betray us? Lena's voice was calm and cold. No, I think they already have. That night, as the world slept beneath an alien moon, Lena sat alone in her quarters, staring out. The window. Her hand hovered over the controls of an encrypted file. Project Sentinel. It was Earth's last-ditch defense plan. Old, secret, and dangerous. Even she didn't fully understand it. But if the Xiari had known about it, maybe they feared what humans could awaken more and what might attack them. Suddenly, her communicator buzzed. A voice whispered, low and hurried, Lena, this is Dr. Riven from Lunar Station. We intercepted a message, not meant for us. She stood up quickly. From who? From the Xiari command ship. It wasn't about the enemy. It was about Earth. About containing us. Lena's heart pounded. She stared at the night sky. Last time before suiting up again. The alien ship blinked with quiet lights in the distance. So peaceful. So calm. Too calm. They came to protect us, she whispered. But maybe, just maybe, they came to keep us from becoming something worse. Lena didn't sleep that night. The secret message from Lunar Station kept replaying in her mind. The Xiari aren't just watching the stars. They're watching us. By morning, Earth's space agencies confirmed something strange. Xiari had sent multiple scanning probes not outward into space, but inward, toward Earth's crust. They weren't looking for enemies in space. They were scanning beneath the planet's surface. Lena stood before the Earth Council again. She held up the latest images. These probes are scanning deep tectonic fault lines, buried caverns, even old military sites. They're looking for something here. General Marlowe frowned. What could be so important down there? Lena answered slowly. Something they're afraid of. Something we might not even understand. Silence fell over the room. Then the councilwoman from before asked, Do we have anything underground that could scare a spacefaring species? Lena took a breath. Yes. In a forgotten facility in the Arctic Circle, hidden beneath ice and rock, sat the entrance to Project Sentinel. Only 6 people on Earth knew it existed. It had been created nearly 90 years ago, long before humanity had left orbit. A research experiment into adaptive artificial defense systems, powered by geothermal energy, grown from a blend of AI and something else. It was shut down after the AI grew too fast, too curious. Now it was humming again. Lena arrived with a security team standing before the old steel blast doors. This place was buried for a reason, said the technician beside her. She nodded. And now the Xiari are digging it up with their scanners. The doors opened with a loud clang. Cold air rushed out. Lights flickered on automatically, as if the place had been waiting. Inside was a single terminal still powered. On it, glowing words appeared, Lena Edel, access granted. She stared in shock. I was never part of this project. I responded. You are now. Meanwhile, on the Xiari ship above Earth, Commander Velen stood before a wall-sized display. It showed a pulsing signal coming from the Arctic region. Have they opened it? Asked another Xiari. Velen nodded grimly. Yes, it's awake. The younger officer's voice trembled. Should we warn them? No, Velen said. They would not believe us. And they must never know what's buried beneath their feet. Pause. We were sent to contain the darkness. But now we might have been too late. Back in the Sentinel facility, Lena watched as the AI displayed its records. Images flashed. Early human scientists, strange energy readings, failed shutdown. Protocols, files marked, classified, non-human origin. Then came a final warning across the screen. Do not activate the core unless the planet is in peril. Lena frowned. What does the core do? The AI responded. Merge. Merge with. No answer. Suddenly, an alarm blared in the facility. The technician shouted, "One of the Ziari probes is moving underground fast." Cameras showed a silver cylinder drilling through ice, headed directly for the sentinel chamber. Lena's voice turned sharp. "They're trying to shut it down." The technician looked at her. "Why? What are they afraid will activate?" She stepped closer to the terminal, eyes narrowed. Something they couldn't control. Something that might not be made by us, but made for us. Above the planet, in orbit, the Ziari fleet stirred. New orders were transmitted. Begin Phase 2. Earth's surface must be sealed. No activation permitted. A second wave of shield towers began descending this time toward Earth's crust. Lena called Earth Defense Command. "They're not protecting us. They're trying to contain us like a virus." General Marlowe barked back. "Then we push back. Earth is no one's prison." The Council gave approval. A secret launch began targeted. Electromagnetic pulses to disable incoming Ziari. Ground probes. Lena turned back to the Sentinel terminal. The AI displayed a final message. Ready to awaken. Lena placed her hand on the console. And wake up. Deep beneath the Earth, the old systems pulsed to life. Lights ignited, doors opened, and something ancient stirred. A mix of AI, machine, and something almost organic. A new word appeared. Bonding in progress. Lena gasped. Bonding to what? The AI answered. You. She tried to pull her hand away, but it was too late. The machine pulsed with light, flowing into her veins like fire. Her heart raced, her skin burned, and yet she didn't scream. She stood tall. Changed. Above her. The alien ship began to panic. In orbit. Velen stared at the screens. It has begun. Another officer trembled. The human. She's merging with the core. Velen whispered. We offered to protect them. But now, they are becoming what we feared. Asterisk Lena stood in the cold metal room deep under the Arctic, breathing heavily. The Sentinel core had bonded with her. She could feel everything. The temperature of the air. The movement of the Earth's tectonic plates. Even the faint heartbeat of soldiers standing floors above. Her mind was still hers, but now it was connected to something vast, something ancient, something not fully human. The technician beside her took a step back. Are you all right? She looked at him. Her eyes were glowing faintly now. I think so, she said calmly. But something inside me is watching. Above Earth, the Ziari were no longer silent. A full fleet of containment ships appeared out of deep. Space hundreds of dark armored vessels. They didn't announce themselves. They simply moved into position, circling Earth like vultures around a wounded beast. Earth's defense systems triggered immediate alerts. The global networks lit up. Every nation, every citizen could now see the truth. The aliens weren't allies anymore. They were preparing to lock Earth down. In the Earth Defense Headquarters. General Marlowe slammed his hand on the table. They're surrounding us like we're criminals. Lena's face appeared on the main screen from the Arctic facility. She was calm, but her voice echoed with an unnatural undertone. They've known for a long time, she said. They were never here to protect us from something out there. They were here to stop what was already here, us. The councilwoman leaned forward. You're speaking like the AI, Lena nodded. It's not just AI. It's older. It remembers them. Remembers who? She paused. The Ziari. A long time ago, before humans had fire or flight, the Sentinel core had been left. On Earth planted by an ancient race now gone. It was meant to watch, to guide, and if necessary, to evolve with humanity. But the Ziari had tried to disable it, because they feared what would happen if it ever merged with a human. Now it had and the Ziari were terrified. On the lead Ziari ship, Velen stood before his command staff. "It's happening. The Sentinel is active. The human is the conduit." His second-in-command trembled. "Should we warn the others?" Velen shook his head. "It's too late. They will rise now, as they always do." He looked out the viewing window. At Earth, we tried to save them from themselves. But perhaps it was always doomed. He turned to the fleet. "Begin planetary suppression. Lock every exit. Prepare to neutralize." Down below, Lena's new senses detected everything. The fleet's movement, the activation of energy weapons, the faint vibration of containment. Beams targeting her location dot. She smiled slightly. They think they can stop this. With a single thought, she accessed old Earth systems, long-abandoned satellites, weapons platforms, deep underground EMP nodes dot around the planet. Dormant systems flickered to life. Earth was waking up. In space, Ziari cruisers locked onto Earths. Major cities, but then alarms rang across their ships. Old Earth defense satellites, once thought obsolete, started jamming communications. Lasers hidden in asteroids activated and fired warning blasts across Ziari halls. One ship went dark, another was disabled. A third retreated. Commander Velen watched in disbelief. "They've activated ancient defenses?" "No," whispered the officer next to him. "The planet itself is fighting back." Back at the Arctic base, the technician looked at Lena in awe. What are you becoming?" She looked at him, half human, half glowing light, something they tried to stop. Her voice was calm, but firm. Earth was never meant to be ruled, not by aliens, not even by itself. We were always meant to survive, to fight, to win. The Sentinel system spoke through her. "This world belongs to no one." Lena raised her hand. Across Earth, pulse cannons aimed at orbit. Satellites locked targets. Old war bunkers came online. She issued one order: defend Earth. In orbit, the Ziari panicked. "Evade!" Velen shouted. "They've taken full control of global defenses." A wave of energy hit the fleet. Electromagnetic pulses, kinetic strikes, ion bursts. Dozens of Ziari ships spiraled, burned, and fell. And yet, Lena had only used 5% of the power. Earth was no longer a blue dot. Under protection. It had become something else. A fortress, a beacon, a warning, and Lena stood at the center of it all. The technician turned to her. "They're retreating. Should we chase them?" She shook her head. "No. Let them carry the message back to the stars." He asked, "What message?" Lena's glowing eyes stared at the sky. "You can't cage Earth. You can't contain humans. We are what you feared. And now you know why." The stars above Earth no longer looked peaceful. Fires burned in orbit. Ziari ships, once silent watchers, now drifted broken among the debris of their failed suppression attempt. But the war wasn't over. In secret, the Ziari activated a final protocol. A beacon. It pulsed through subspace, a signal meant for others, a call for reinforcements. Not just Ziari ships, but members of their ancient alliance, the ones who had long feared Earth's potential. Far away, something answered. Lena stood in the control chamber of the Arctic base, eyes still glowing with the energy of the Sentinel core. Her body felt human, but her thoughts moved faster. Like fire through wires. She was no longer just a commander. She was Earth's shield now. The technician beside her held up a data tablet. "We intercepted their distress signal. They're calling for backup." Whole coalition. Lena didn't flinch, then let them come. Across the world, humanity had changed overnight. Nations that once fought over borders were now united under one banner. Earth First Command. Cities lit up with defense grids. Old military alliances merged. Civilians volunteered in record numbers. Scientists, engineers, soldiers working together. But it wasn't fear driving them. It was fury. The world had seen the truth. The aliens came not as friends, but as jailers. And Earth would never bow. In orbit, the remains of Ziari's ships began to retreat. Commander Velan's fleet was in chaos. One of his captains shouted, "They've cracked our encryption. Earth AI is hijacking our drones." Another screamed, "Pull back. Their fusion cannons are too precise." But Velan stood still, watching Earth below. "We tried," he whispered. "We warned them. We offered peace. They chose war." His second in command turned to him. "What do we do now?" Velan closed his eyes. "We survive, and we prepare, because she has awakened it." On Earth, Lena stood before a new army. Not machines. Not drones. People. She had called for volunteers, and millions answered. From desert bunkers to frozen bases, humans prepared for the coming storm. Lena climbed onto a black transport carrier. The crowd went silent. Her voice was broadcast across the globe. "They came to shield us. They thought we were weak. But they forgot we are from a death world. We survive what others can't. And now we fight not for revenge, but to remind the stars, this world is ours. We were never yours. To protect." The Earth roared. Just hours later, humanity launched its first counterstrike, not in rage, but in clarity. Ziari towers on the moon? Disabled? Hidden surveillance beacons across Mars? Crushed. A secret listening post near Jupiter? Vaporized by old Earth missiles reprogrammed by Sentinel. Every Ziari outpost near Earth. Space fell in coordinated strikes, led by Lena's new command. The galaxy watched in shock. This wasn't a rebellion. It was a reckoning. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, another mystery began to stir. The Sentinel core had awakened a secondary signal. One buried in Earth's magnetic field. Something old. Something sleeping for thousands of years. Lena saw the signals in her dreams, now flashes of cities under ice. Machines shaped like beasts. Voices whispering in codes no human had ever spoken. "What is it?" the technician asked her. She looked. Up, distant. Another weapon. Or maybe another truth. Up in orbit, Velan's remaining fleet prepared for final evacuation. His ship shook from another, Earth-based plasma strike. "We can't hold orbit," shouted the pilot. "Then fall." "Back," Velan replied coldly. "Let them believe they've won. But mark my words." He looked at Earth's glowing surface, defended, united, alive. "This species will either save the galaxy or burn it." Back on Earth, Lena stood before the newly rebuilt Terran Command Center. Above it flew no flag, only a symbol. A planet, wrapped in light, with one word beneath it: unbroken. She turned to her new council. "We've pushed them back, but they'll return. And next time, it won't just be the Ziari." The councilwoman nodded. "Then what do we do?" Lena's eyes gleamed. "We build, we learn, and we prepare. Because now the galaxy knows." She paused, her voice calm and final. "Earth doesn't need protection. It is the storm." The galaxy had gone quiet. News of Earth's uprising spread faster than light. Ziari ships destroyed. Defense towers shattered. Sentinel AI awakened. And one message echoed across the stars: Earth does not need guardians. Most alien species didn't know what to believe. Humans had been labeled reckless, emotional, short-lived, and dangerously curious. But no one had expected this. No one expected Earth to rise with such fury, and they especially didn't expect a single human woman to lead it all. Lena walked through the Terran Core facility once, a hidden Arctic base, now Earth's Central Command. Her steps were calm, but power radiated off her. Since merging with the Sentinel core, she didn't just feel connected, she was the connection. She could feel gravity shifts before earthquakes, satellite motion above clouds, energy pulses inside volcanoes. The I didn't control her. She and it were equal symbiotic together. An old general, gray-bearded and sharp-eyed, walked beside her. "We've confirmed reports," he said. "Ziari reinforcements won't arrive for at least 12 more rotations. Maybe longer." Lena stopped and looked out the massive window facing space. "And the other alliances?" He hesitated. "Some are watching. Some are afraid, but a few are gathering fleets." Lena nodded slowly. "They won't attack yet." He frowned. "How can you be so sure?" She turned, her voice soft but heavy. "Because they still think we're the weak ones." Meanwhile, far beyond the edge of human space, in a floating archive buried in a gas giant storm cloud, the elders of an ancient species gathered. They studied the data images of Earth's resistance, Ziari defeat, the AI-human merge. They had seen it before. One whispered, "It's happening again." Another added, "We should have destroyed the core when we had the chance." A third, older than all, spoke slowly. "You don't destroy fire. You respect it, or you get burned." And then came silence, because even the ancient ones remembered. The last species that tried to control Earth, and how that ended. Back on Earth, construction boomed. The Sentinel core had unlocked forgotten tech blueprints, gravity stabilizers, planetary shields, even atmospheric recyclers that could make toxic planets habitable. Within days, Earth launched new black steel dreadnoughts, silent, sleek, faster than anything the Ziari had ever built. The first was called Unyielding, the second, Ashes of Peace, and the third, not the weak ones. Lena personally commanded its first mission. She didn't take soldiers. She took scientists, engineers, diplomats, and one young orphan who had survived the first alien attack. "Why him?" the general had asked. Lena looked at the boy and said, "Because one day he'll walk into a council chamber and remind them who we are, not through war, through presence." In orbit, as the Terran fleet took formation, old Ziari wrecks still floated like silent warnings. The boy asked her, "Why don't we clean those up?" Lena knelt beside him. "Because every time they look up, I want them to remember what happened when they tried to put Earth in a cage." The boy blinked. "So they fear us?" She smiled gently. "No, so they understand us." And far away, in a hidden chamber inside a hollow moon, another race finished decoding the signal the Ziari had sent in desperation. It contained one short entry, marked urgent. Warning, Sentinel core active. Human merged. Response irreversible. The alien commander stared at the file. Then he whispered to himself, "They've returned. Just like the old stories. But this time, they don't even realize what they've become." Back at Earth, Lena sat alone. Her body was tired, but her mind moved like a storm. Sentinel data flashed around her like stars. She saw hundreds of potential futures. Some bright, some burning, and just one, where humanity stood at the center of a peaceful galaxy. She whispered to herself, "They came thinking we were children, but now they see we were never weak." The AI responded in her thoughts, "You are the storm they never planned for." She nodded, "And we're just getting started." The stars watched in silence. Earth, once seen as a backwater world filled with primitive species, had become the center of fear and fascination. The Ziari were no longer orbiting above as guardians. They were gone, driven out, broken. But the message they sent before fleeing had reached many ears. And now, those ears listened. And prepared? On a distant star station, the High Council of Allied Species gathered in panic. Representatives from 100 worlds argued over what to do. Humans merged with ancient tech. They control planetary-level defense systems. They already pushed back the Xiari fleet without asking for help. A deep-voiced alien shouted. They didn't ask for help, because they never needed it. A hush fell. Then the council's oldest member rose, his voice trembling. Centuries ago, we marked Earth as dangerous. We were told to monitor them, not interfere. But the Xiari disobeyed. And now we face the fire. The chamber lights dimmed. Earth's reply to the Xiari was playing on loop. One phrase echoed in every language. You tried to protect us. Now run before we protect ourselves. Meanwhile, Lena stood on the bridge of the TSS, not the weak ones. Flagship of Earth's fleet. The ship was no longer testing systems. It was ready. All around her, humans worked pilots, engineers, AI-linked strategists. No fear, only purpose. A soft alert flashed on her console. Incoming fleet detected. Size: 4 times larger than Xiari force. Origin: Allied Central Territories. The technician looked at her, worried. They're not here to talk, are they? Lena shook her head slowly. They're coming to try again, to cage us. The Sentinel core pulsed within her. She could hear the fear in the approaching ship's encrypted whispers. Scanned hesitations. They didn't understand how Earth rose so fast. They didn't realize Earth's true power wasn't the Sentinel AI. It was the species itself. On the dark side of the moon. Earth's response began. Massive defense platforms lifted from their hidden hangars. Quantum disruptors shimmered in low orbit. To Earth. Dreadnoughts, ashes of peace, and unyielding drifted silently into position beside Lena's ship. She tapped her console once. A message broadcasted galaxy-wide. You came thinking we were fragile. You stayed because you thought we needed your protection. And now you return because you finally understand who we are. But remember this. We never asked for fire. We are the ones who brought it. The enemy fleet didn't reply. They moved into formation, aggressive, prepared. But something unexpected happened. As they approached Earth space. They stopped. One by one, their ships turned. A single vessel, a science ship, broke formation and hailed Earth. Lena accepted the transmission. On the screen, an alien woman appeared. Her eyes wide, her voice low. We were told to fear you, to contain you. But when I looked deeper, I saw your world's history. You fought not to conquer, but to be left alone. She looked down, ashamed. We refuse to attack. The Council does not speak for all of us. And with that, nearly half the fleet turned away. Earth didn't fire. Not a single shot, because it didn't need to. The fire it brought wasn't just destruction. It was truth. Power older than war. The will to survive. The strength to stand alone. The fury of being underestimated too long. That night, Earth celebrated, not with cheers or parades, but with a quiet unity. They had faced the galaxy and made it blink first. Lena stood once more on the highest platform in Terran command. The boy from the orphan colony stood beside her, now wearing a black uniform with the Earth crest. She looked down at him. Do you know why you're here? She asked. He nodded. Because one day, they'll ask who led the first generation of true Terrans. And what will you say? She smiled. He raised his chin. I'll say, we were never the weak ones. We were the ones who brought the fire.